The complex magic of the electric universe is created by a magnetic mechanism. A mechanical mechanism is created that creates existence, life, light. Right? So this is the propagation of light, equaling the moment of consciousness of life while we are alive. And there is a mechanical mechanism that creates the difference, the heat and the sound and the electric charge that's realized, the voltage increase as gravity, as the planet accelerates. In the duration of Planck's constant, that's a moment of time, there's a sawtooth wave, and the planet elastica of the planet, the boundary between tension and negative tension caused by stretching, so resistance to compression from stretching. On the other side of the elastica is a sawtooth wave of gravity going from 0 to 9.81 newtons. Sawtooth, and then it drops in the rigid body instant. But in that rigid body instant, when there is the clamping motion, there is the voltage charge is realized. That's what sets the limit. Yeah, there's a stretching, and then there's a voltage potential realized. Discharge capacitance moves backwards, filling the void, the space that's been created inside the sawtooth wave, creating a sphere of energy. A sphere. Everything is a sphere to this tiniest dimension of the sawtooth wave of the elastica of the planet in a wave at the rate of c, and it's h, pulses, 60 pulses, segments, deriving time. Okay? Magic stuff. So the gravity accelerates, sawtooth wave. Now that creates the charge going backwards must be separated from the negative vacuum energy space compression around it, must be separate from it. There must be a boundary, and that boundary is created by water. So the surface tension, the boundary between them, between inviscid, negative cavitation, compression, is inviscid. The viscous boundary is where there is viscosity, orthogonal action, described by C, the sphere of surface tension. Water is created, the boundary, and from that boundary then the body of water is created, and the negative cavitation on the other side, space. So space and time are created in this duration of Planck's constant, the rotation of the elastica. And the best way to see it is as a wave, one way, and then it flicks as a wave to the other way. A peak becomes a trough, and a trough becomes a peak. As it does so, there is a twisting motion, and that's AB 14, Victor Lebe, 1915, dissertation. There's the twist anti-clockwise and clockwise of the two energies, J and K, twist, joules, elastic energy, K, temperature, resistance, right-hand chirality. And so the mechanism of the universe rotating at the center of the Earth is the centroid of bending, S meter 4 is the limit of homogeneous temperature. Limit of entropy is the size of a piece of temperature. How small can the temperature be in a zone? When you zoom in, what's the difference? Right? So how small can a homogeneous temperature be is the motion of entropy. It can be big or small. S meters to 4. And so that's the center of the centroid of bending. And now you have the outside of the cavitation, the cosmos, the cosmic microwave background, ICE 18, austenitic, and that action of austenitic is actually acted at the center, so that the austenitic properties of the cosmic microwave background are expressed at the very center of the planet as rotation, force of rotation. And that creates a snapping motion at the center of the two vortices. So the idea of you've got the hydrogen binding energy now. So you've got the surface of water creating a body of water, and that body of water has a mass, and that mass goes to the bottom of the hydrogen binding energy. So inside a molecule of hydrogen, water, H2O, there is a boundary, and below it is water, above it is cavitation, surrounded by the meniscus. The whole sphere is created, but it's got a hole in it, but it's at the top. So there's a vector axis, keeps it spinning, so the water can't escape, as long as it's twisting. And the vortices are created from the power of the rotation in the cavitation spins really fast. The power of the force of the universe in the mass is acting against the mass. It's slower. And so the balance factor is there's a pocket cavitation, a pocket vortex pops out from the mass into the cavitation, a secondary minor vortex, major vortex, minor vortex, vector axis, north pole of planet at the top. Yeah. And so that the water, the planet reflects the water, the twisting energy at the center. Got it? So water creates, water surface force creates a surface, a boundary of viscosity that must be a line. That line is the elastica of the planet, popping up and down and creating a ripping motion at the center of the two vortices. Because now the vortex in the top has two powers. One has a right-hand chirality, but it's in that same plane. And so it has a drag factor, and it snaps at the center. There's a tick of time, and that's when the spark voltage charge is realized, capacitance discharge, backwards in the moment of the sawtooth wave. The elastic plastic modulus that's been created by the stretching force, that's a plastic, has created a plasticity in the water itself. It's become more plastic, so it can't contract as fast as it did. And so that takes a moment for it to resolve back to zero. In that time, there's a moment of experience at the center, because the flash of light meets the incoming elastic wave. Young's modulus exists as a single entity of strength from point to point. And so the electric charge going backwards meets the elastic wave coming forward at the point of yield, and there's the rotation. You look down, and there's a yin-yang, and that snaps. And that's the -1 arrow of time. Adds together as a single thing, because it's real. It's the plastic index of the EI being realized by the voltage discharge from the future. And so it proves that the moment of consciousness actually is from the future. So you're telling yourself how to behave. You yourself are your own God, telling yourself how to behave. And you're telling yourself to behave well, because you live in the future, and you know that the glory of God is living on the planet of wonder, just ahead of us, right? Just by taking this motion, by being your own God, but following the words of Christ. Christ is your King, that's it. Easy. Proven by Dr. Victor Levy in 1915. Now I can do it. Let me, please, world, give me the chance to look stupid. I can prove the Earth's the center of the universe. Watch me fly. Follow the rebel king.